Welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for tuning in for another one of my videos. I really appreciate it. If you are a returning viewer, thank you so much for supporting. And if you've subscribed already, thank you so much. If you are a new viewer and you have not yet, please take a moment to do so. It's free to subscribe to this channel and it helps keep me motivated to continue to pump out Marvel Rivals content. Also, just in case you don't know, my wife told me I could game more if I made a YouTube channel. So that's exactly what I'm doing because I want to game more. By subscribing, you're helping a married guy out. All right, I'm just being honest with you. So for this video, what I want to talk about actually is something kind of interesting, and the concept for it was sparked for me today. And you guys know how I feel about swapping characters and making adjustments in game, but something happened in one of our games today when I just kind of had this this moment of clarity where I said, I don't know why I don't know how to use this hero yet. I don't know why I have not learned this. Something happened in this game that really just made me say, this is a really important topic to talk about. And this is something that can literally change a game for your team from being a loss to a win. It has that high of potential. And this comes down to willingness to swap in game to make something happen that otherwise would not happen. Now, I've done a video before about unintentionally throwing games. I'll put a card up here at the top for you guys. Unintentionally throwing is honestly something that happens from just not changing, not being willing to recognize that who you are playing as in this moment is not what the team needs. And I had this conversation in comments very recently with some people because of a video that I made where I showed endgame stats and I showed a Hawkeye that performed super well, and I said it was a bit of an unintentional throw. Some people disagreed with me because he performed so well, and you could say, well, he did well, everybody else should have stepped up to the plate. The thing is, you can unintentionally throw by not swapping, and it's not like you have to play that character the whole game. Sometimes you just need to swap for 20 seconds, for 30 seconds, for one push, for just one instance of the game, just for the last fight. You can play whoever you want up until that point, but if you're recognizing at the end, we need more heals, we need more tank, we need more whatever it is, someone's got to swap. And if somebody has the potential to do so and refuses to do so, then that becomes a problem and it results in a loss, right? So that kind of being in the back of my mind, and then the game that I just played a moment ago really had me thinking to myself, this is a phenomenal video to make. So we're going to hop into it. I've got a little bit of a tier list that I set up here to kind of just make this neat and organized so we can go through this quickly and I can show you exactly what I'm talking about. So here's the list. And like I said, I have it pretty well organized already, and I've got low priority, high priority. This is in regards to swapping. Okay. This is not a tier list in the way that you would normally think of it as like these characters are better than these characters. It's not like that. This is like your highest priority for making a swap. Not to say that by putting someone in there, you're not playing them already, but these would be like the highest priority considerations in game when you need to make a change. There is one must know where this kit is so relevant to objective gameplay that if you don't know how to play this hero and nobody else on your team knows how to play this hero, I think that's a problem. And as you continue to go up in rank, this is just a little bit of in-game value and utility that if you can't exercise it, then, I mean, I don't know. You must not really be trying to win that hard. I'll just come out and say that straightforward. So we'll start with the strategist first. The highest priority strategist, I would say, to make a swap to in the event that you need more healing and this strategist is not already present on your team and not in any particular order. Rocket is a high priority. I would honestly say now that Cloak is a high priority. The amount of heals that she puts out, it's just so big that if you're really lacking heals because you have other strategists in game, this is a great opportunity to make a swap to her just to really kind of bump up those heal numbers, right? I would say Loki is a high priority as well. And I would say Invis here and Luna would all be. These are high priority swap choices. So just as an example, I was playing a game the other day and I was playing tank and we had two healers. It was Mantis and Adam. They're both good, right? They're both good. If you're accurate, they're both great, but they're not really covering the heal necessities, right? Like you can't say that these two compare to these 5 as far as healing goes. I just thought they should make changes to it. They didn't. We lost. It's okay. But these would be your high priority swaps. Okay. You could argue that maybe Jeff would go into high priority as a swap, but this would be too situationally dependent, too map dependent to say like, hey, we need a Jeff right now. I don't know that I've ever heard anybody say that in game. Not that there's never a moment when you don't need one, because I would say that you do. He has a great utility. But I would put these 3 into low priority as a swap, because if your team needs more healing, I don't think that swapping to one of these 3 would be the pick, right? If you are already in game with a rocket and a Luna or a cloak, and they're like, oh, healing's not quite enough, we need a 3rd healer, you're not really bringing in one of these 3, are you? You're bringing in Invis, or if you have Luna already, you're bringing in cloak on top of that. So for strategists, I would say this would be the high priority, and then these would be the low priority for your swap in game to supplement more healing for your team. All right, now for the duelists, this is a little bit more difficult to do because they have such a wide variety of kits and like use cases, and there's also a ton of them. So I would just say we'll just knock out high priority here. Very easily done. Torch is going to go up there. Punisher is going to go up there. He has a great kit for dealing with obstruction. So if you do happen to have a Groot on the enemy team, or Emma Frost as well, you have the ability with him to really just like take down those obstruction points and just drill into the enemy team. And he can create a lot of pressure as well by making the team that you're going up against have to back down just because of his kit, especially if paired with a rocket and he's got his unlimited ammo. I would also say that Scarlet Witch would be a high priority swap. The reason for that being is that she does so well against flyers. And if you have an enemy team with, especially if you've got Torch and Iron Man on the enemy team, she can make a really big difference. Also, with the team up with Strange, she can function very well as kind of like a supplemental diver, and she can deal a lot of damage and help deal with the strategists on the enemy team's backline. So there is a lot of value there for her. Her ult can be useful, but normally she just dies trying to do it. So I don't think that's really a valid reason for making the high priority swap. It'd be more so to deal with flyers. I would also say that Mr. Fantastic would be a high priority swap. He just has an amazing kit. He kind of functions as an off tank as well. And if you're running a heavier tank, or like if you're needing more tankiness, but you also need some damage as well and some movement, he's a great pick for that. I would say that Magic could be a high priority swap if you really are just having a hard time getting through the enemy team's heals and you need some backline damage. She'd be a great pick for that. And because she has great mobility, she's able to get in and out. Namor is also a high priority because he can help deal with divers, and if you get the team ups, he's got the Gamma Squiz, which is just really OP right now. Just create something that the enemy has to deal with. So if you are lacking some dive protection, or you are lacking, I guess just some like map control and even like a little bit of damage, like just DPS from the DPS characters themselves, he's a great person to supplement in there. Also, the squids can deal with flyers, which is extremely helpful. I would put Iron Fist in here for the same reason as Magic. He's just going to be a really good way to just kind of beat up on the back line, and it's going to help you deal with the enemy front line a little bit by having their healers be distracted. Sometimes the swaps that need to be made, and I would consider to be high priority swaps, don't have to just be for pure damage or just for pure tanking. Sometimes you need some distraction being brought into the game, and he does super well with that. Cap does as well, but we'll talk about him a little bit when we get to the Vanguards. I would honestly I'd put Bucky in there. I'm starting to see Bucky like perform super well. I've kind of said he's not super high priority in the past, but I do feel like I'm seeing his kit utilized a little bit more efficiently now. I feel like players are getting a little bit more comfortable with him, a little bit more familiar, and Bucky can be a huge problem. If you just really need some pure DPS, he's a great pick. I would say the same for Iron Man. If you just need some straight up DPS, Iron Man is a phenomenal pick. If you're having a hard time dealing with the tanks, Wolverine is a great person to swap to if you don't already have him on your team. He does a lot of damage to tanks. He's got a great ult. It's got CC. It's got high damage output. He's a phenomenal character to swap to if needed. Obviously, I would put Moon Knight up here and Star-Lord as well, both of them for the same reason. They deal high DPS. They have good maneuverability. They're difficult to deal with, and they both have good ults. I know Moon Knights isn't as good as it used to be, but it's still very good. If you have any CC going on at the moment and you're able to drop Moon Knight's alt on the enemy team, it's going to deal a lot of damage. It's going to be just an amazing thing to pull off. Star-Lord's alt, I would say, as far as DPSs go, I might even go so far as to say I feel like it's the best one. It's just incredible. You can just nuke an entire team. It has some hard counters. Yes, you can avoid it, but a good Star-Lord will bait things out first, make sure that he's in the clear to do it so that he gets the highest maximum value. Also, Star-Lord can charge his ult very fast, so sometimes you can even get the ult off before the enemy team gets their first set of support ults, which is really cool. And then for low priority, I mean, I'll just move them up here because that way we have the visual for it. I would say that these would all be low priority swaps. They're good. They have their use cases. They can be incredibly effective heroes to pick, but I can't, my opinion, I cannot look at this low priority section of the list and say that these would be better swap choices than the ones I put in high priority, right? That's kind of how I approach these tier lists is once I get a row set up and I'm kind of like moving people up into that list because I'm just doing these on the fly. At some point you got to have that question of like, do they match up? Right? Should they be in high priority? Would I actually recommend swapping to one of these heroes more than one of these? I wouldn't, I don't think. Just based on how gameplay looks for me and the experience that I've had with the game, I think that these would definitely be your duelist high priority, and then these would be low priority swaps. You could say Squirrel Girl would be a strong priority, but that would be depending on the map. On the symbiotic world or whatever it's called, where you're doing the escort, it's like the Venom map. She's very good on that map because there's so many areas to bounce that around, but that's very situational, right? For her ricochet shot. She's also very effective against Groots. She breaks the walls down quickly. So she's good. She has a use case, but it's got to be like the right environment plus the right enemy team. So, you could say that'd be a high priority for that moment, but I wouldn't say that makes sense all the time. So that's why I would leave her down, just to give you like a rationale for that. Okay, and now on to the Vanguards. Venom. I would put Venom as a high priority hero to learn so that you have the ability to swap to him. And the reason for that is just because of how tanky he is. He's doing a lot of damage. He does a lot of distraction. He's just very strong. He's a burden to deal with. It can take so long to take him down that it can allow the other team to really make an advance on the objective. So I think that he's just a great pick as someone to swap to if you are lacking, somebody to fill a distraction and a pressure role like that. He's a great option. Thing I would put in high priority also for the same reason. Very tanky, very good on the offensive, and has great like movement canceling skills. His ult has a phenomenal stun. That would be a good opportunity to drop a Moon Knight ult on people as an example. He's just a really great pick, and sometimes you just need someone that can like run it through the enemy team and just disrupt what they're doing, and he's a good swap pick for that. Emma as well. Emma's phenomenal, and I would argue she's the best anti-dive tank in the game at the moment. She has a very high use case in pretty much every situation. Thor, I'd put him in high priority, to be honest. He can kind of work. I see him being the most effective when you don't really have to run him as a tank, when you can actually use him to just kind of push into the back line, especially partnered with Thing and like Cap as well. He does a lot of damage. He has a lot of great presence. He's hard to take down, and he's got really good mobility. Groot, I would put in low priority. He gets banned a lot. I don't know that it's worth spending time learning him at this point. Like almost every single game I play, he is banned. So he has use case. He's good. It's not that Groot's bad. He's getting banned because he's good. You could learn him for the off chance that you get to play him, but the reality is, maybe 1 in 20 games, I'm just making this up, but maybe 1 in 20 games you can play as him. It's not really worth spending time on right now. Strange is also going to go up in high priority. He's just an amazing controller to have on the objective point. His shield is so powerful. It really makes pushing an objective tough when he's there just soaking up all that damage. The shield is so wide. He can fly around with it. He can block ults with his shield. It's insane. It's an amazing pick, honestly. Penny, this would be situational. This is going to sound controversial. I'm going to put her in low priority as someone to learn. On some maps, she shines more than others, and there you can kind of play her in like a high pressure way where you're really pushing into the enemy team and then using the mines and the nests and things like that to control an area. She can be very, very, very good. But I don't think I would say that she's a high priority swap, because the times when you would say like, we need a penny, I would argue are far less than you would say you need the ones I already have in high priority. Like now and again, certain maps, certain situations, she can be helpful as like a quick swap. And that is kind of the whole point of this conversation. But I would say that those moments are a little bit less frequent. Cap, I would put as low priority. Truthfully, he's very good. He's very good at disrupting the enemy team and annoying the backline and just creating pressure and being a distraction in general. But I would not put him as a high priority swap, because arguably you could do that with Thor, you could do that with Thing, and you could do that with Venom. And these three are more likely to deal more damage and actually get eliminations than I would say Cap is. Cap is just really annoying and it can be hard to get away from him, but you can get away from him. And normally, I don't know, it's just kind of hard to hit the shots with him. Like truthfully, it's easier to deal damage with the other one. So if you need someone running through the line to deal damage to the back line, I would argue he doesn't really match up to Thor, Thing, and Venom. Magneto, I would put in low priority. And look, Magneto's good. His ult is too easy to block though. And if you're looking for shielding, then you're better off just picking Strange. And if you need more shielding, like honestly, you could say that you could put Hulk up here. I'm going to leave Hulk in low priority. And the reason for him is just that he also gets banned all the time. Great to learn him. If you get to play him, he's phenomenal. He's great to pair up for the team up with Namor and Iron Man, but he gets banned all the time. So I don't know. It's not really worth learning him to play in competitive mode, because the likelihood of getting to play him is pretty low. I don't think he gets banned quite as much as Groot right now, but it's up there. It's up there for sure. So there's that setup right there, right? So we got the Vanguard, high priority and low priority. We went through the Duelists and the Strategists already. There is one hero that you need to know. Everyone has to learn how to use this kit, okay? It's Doctor Strange. If you don't know how to use his portal, you're selling yourself short. You're selling your team short. When you are in those final moments of capturing an objective or making a push for the objective or the escort or whatever it is, and somebody dies early on, and obviously the other team's going to run over you and take you out. They've used all their ults, let's just say, and they wipe your whole team. Somebody needs to know how to swap to Strange to get your team back to that point immediately. This changes games. I am telling you right now, just learn how to use his portal. And then you learn how to use his shield so that you can portal in, jump in with him, and just shield and help protect your teammates as they come in for that final stance. This is such a big deal. And you see this in very high level gameplay. If you go into the leaderboards and view people's profiles and you look at their history and watch their games, you will see that they do this. They will swap just to portal the rest of their team in. And this is the whole concept here, guys, is sometimes you need to make swaps. And there's a priority for those swaps. And that will help you increase your win rate. It'll help you help out your team more. It'll make you a more rounded player. And that's what you should be. You shouldn't be someone that can only play one character from each role or just one character, period. That's not helpful. Not every hero is good on every map or in every situation. And sometimes you just need that swap for just that instance. And it will change the game. You can play, you can play Hawkeye all game and perform super well, and that's fine. At the end of the game, if you need more tank presence, you need more objective presence, you need something else, and you're really not needing that damage, because tanks deal a lot of damage. Strategists can deal a lot of damage too. You don't need a DPS to be getting that damage. You could swap to a more tanky character like Thor, so you can still deal the damage you want to be dealing, but then you can also help with the objective presence. And this makes a huge difference in gameplay. So take this list for what it is. This is my recommendation, that if you want to learn how to be more helpful, these would be your high priority swaps so that you can adapt in game and then make a difference and boost your win percentage. So I'm going to put this list back together here real quick. So this way you have a comprehensive list of high priority and low priority, in my opinion. I would recommend that you challenge yourself within the high priority list. Pick 2 Vanguards, 2 Duelists, and 2 Strategists, and learn how to use them very well. And learn how to use Strange. Learn how to work his shield to the most effective potential, alternating the shield with the attacks, and learn how to use the portal, and learn how to use it efficiently and perfectly, because it will make a huge difference. So this is my challenge to you guys. Take some time and do this. Play some quick matches. Go into the practice. Mess around with their skills and stuff like that. It will be worth it to spend your time doing that, because you're going to probably, I would say, honestly, I would almost be willing to guarantee that if you can be the person that can flex like that, you can make a difference for your team and you can start to win more. So I'm challenging you to challenge yourself to do it. If you guys enjoyed this video, please take a moment to subscribe. I would greatly appreciate it. I look forward to making more content like this to share with you guys. I'll see you in the next video. Thank you.